Good morning. These are your BYU-Idaho radio morning headlines for Tuesday, July 30th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Alex Batman. The Idaho Falls Area Humanitarian Center has been working nonstop to help people of eastern Idaho. Student reporter Cody Miller takes a look.
Since 2010, the Idaho Falls Humanitarian Center has been helping other nonprofits and charity organizations in East Idaho grow and distribute supplies to people most in need. However, the supplies have been running low recently, as they need more donations of items like laundry soap, diapers, wet wipes, and more. Eric Schultz and his wife Betsy are the community assistant and service directors for the nonprofit.
One night we got a call, I think it was about 8 o'clock at night, and this family who lived in Idaho Falls had just had a granddaughter that was displaced, and they were going to have to take her in. And they had other grandchildren there too, but they didn't have bedding. So we went through a social worker who called us and asked us if we could do this, and we brought a brand new quilt for her to be able to be comfortable that night. And so it's really rewarding when there's emergencies like that we can help them out. It gives you a good feeling.
The Humanitarian Center helps about 120 to 130 agencies from Pocatello to St. Anthony and everywhere in between. They do not take food, but they take general and basic hygiene supplies like toothpaste, soap, linens, diapers, and more.
Our job is to put together the orders and provide in connection with all the agents so that they have this stuff at their disposal. And I guess the biggest issue that personally that I have to deal with is we usually have a very limited supply of, say, for example, laundry soap. And so the orders come in and people need this laundry soap. And I have to decide who gets it and how many because I don't have enough to go around.
The Humanitarian Center is always accepting volunteers and supply drives. Schultz says they are more than willing to work with church and government organizations to help each other out. You can find out more, volunteer, and even organize donation drives at their website at ifareahumanitariancenter.org. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Cody Miller.
If you live in or commute around the Idaho Falls area, you'll notice the Idaho Transportation Department and contractors striping Highway 33, Highway 20, and the I-15 business loop over the next 3 weeks. To safely stripe, there will be lane closures. Crews will close 4 miles at a time and reduce them to 1 lane. There will be flaggers and pilot cars directing traffic. The striping will go in this order. This week, Highway 33 between Sage Junction and Rexburg. Next week, Highway 20 west of Idaho Falls between milepost 301 and 307. The I-15 business loop on Sunnyside Road from I-15 to Yellowstone Highway. Then Yellowstone Highway from Sunnyside Road to Broadway. Everything should be finished by August 15th. As we approach August, gas prices are stagnant in Idaho. The state average is sitting at $3.48 a gallon, the same as last week. Right now, the Gem State is 7th most expensive for gas in the nation. Right now, the national average is $3.14 a gallon, so as you travel this summer, prices may be better where you're going. AAA Idaho Public Affairs Director Matthew Condi says travel is robust right now and oil prices continue to remain below $70 a barrel.
There might be fits and starts where you see things kind of going back and forth. Families are crossing off a lot of those big trips. Here in just a few weeks, a lot of people will be back to school, doing all that dreaded stuff. So when that happens, there may be a little bit less travel until you get to weekends, things like that. But it may kind of ebb and flow over the next few weeks. And then come Labor Day, we generally see that trend where things start to go down pretty nicely.
Average prices around Idaho are $3.49 in Rexburg, $3.45 in Idaho Falls, and $3.47 in Pocatello, $3.51 in Boise, and $3.29 in Lewiston. These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio Morning Headlines for July 30th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Alex Batman.